Hello, my beauties. I'm starting new chapter on my YouTube channel, and now we will make longer videos where I'm talking to my students about different hot topics in pole dancing and psychology. Today, I'm going to talk to my student Polina. She is practicing with me already like a little more than 1 year. She's dancing mostly exotic now, and we will talk about her first class, some of her fears. She is an amazing woman, mother of 2 kids, and just beautiful dancer. So enjoy the conversation. If you have any comments or suggestions about next topics, let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to implement those changes into the next videos. So let's start from what was your biggest concern or maybe fear when you just was about to start pole dancing, about to start especially dancing in heels. What was your biggest fear? What was stopping you from doing it earlier?
Where do I start? So I came across exotic, and it's so beautiful and it's so flowy, and
It is.
long lines and splits, which clearly I don't have. So I've been watching videos and inspired, but also, so I had the whole list of things why I have to try, why I have to do it. I just have to.
And what was on that list?
Um,
Why?
I love the music. I love the flow. I love how graceful it is. It's sensual, but also you're a dancer. There's so many things, and it's just so hypnotizing.
I totally feel you. And what was your biggest worries?
I'm not flexible. I'm not bendy. Not strong enough, because you have to build the strength when you're doing pole dance.
So how you still came to the class?
I was watching videos for 2 months. I did my research. I had the outfit. I had the heels.
Guys, research. She did research. I love it. I love it.
But I didn't do it properly. I had my 7-inch heels, not the 8. They were sparkly. They were shiny. I came to the class. I put them on, and guess what? I was the shortest in the class because I only had 7 inches and not 8.
So yes, I'm recommending to my students, once their ankles and feet are strong enough, to switch to 8 inches boots. They are so much easier to dance in, but about this we will talk a little later, maybe in the next video. So let's go back and tell me about that first class.
Well, was I be able to do most of the moves? No, maybe I got 1 or 2, and it still wasn't 100%.
More than enough.
Was I bendy and flexible like everyone in the class? No, absolutely not. Was it fun? Yes. Was it a great energy? Yes. Was everyone supportive and helpful? Yes. Was everyone explaining and showing me tricks all over again, even though I wasn't getting it? Yes. It was. It was so
Everyone
much
is really
fun.
supportive.
Yes.
So your biggest concern when you came to a class, it was how flexible you are, and if you will be flexible and graceful enough to make all of those transitions in a like flowy and nice way,
and also
right?
a strength, like to dance a choreography for even 30 seconds. That takes a lot. Without a practice, for me, it was
But what was your biggest concern? Is that was your biggest concern,
all
or
of
still
them.
more like flexibility and stuff?
It was all of them above. I can't pick just one thing. I had a whole list. Don't forget, I had a whole list. I can't just pinpoint one and say that was my only concern. And I'm still working on it. It's still flexibility.
Another
It's
spoiler,
improved.
I'm also still working on that, on my flexibility strengths. In pole dancing, this is what I like about it. You're just keep practicing.
Yes.
Like you always have something new to learn. Doesn't matter on what level you are. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced student, if you're an instructor, doesn't matter. You still have so much more to learn. It's crazy, and we love it.
And it's never right. It's never boring. You don't know what you're gonna get yourself into. And another thing that I love about Valerie, you'll come to me and be like, "Okay, show me the move," and I'll show her the move, and you'll provide me with at least 2 to 4 options sometimes to see what works, what I can actually do to implement in choreography. Because even if I cannot do splits, there's a fake split. Even if I cannot arch all the way, there is a tricks to create
Yeah, it's my favorite part. So
She has
basically,
secrets.
I do have some secrets, but yeah, I'm ready to share with you some of them, by the way. So, anyway, once you have like your amazing flexibility, you have splits or you don't, it's pretty much doesn't matter because literally for every move, you have different positions, different angles that you can use to make it look perfect. It's all about fake splits. You can already find on my page the video how to
They're
do
amazing. I use it all the time.
how to do a fake split. So it literally looks so real that I remember one of the girls in comments started to prove me that it's actual split until I privately sent to her the different video from different angle of the same position, and she's like, oh wow, it's amazing, it looks like a
Hmm.
split. So even like some people are confusing and thinking that it's a real split. So yes, if you do not have that crazy flexibility in the beginning, still, there is a lot of options that you can do near the pole, on the floor,
Hmm.
and it will look really cool. So, like, we were filming a video recently, right?
Hmm.
And still, we did some adjustments.
Yes,
We changed some positions. And what about the result? Do you like the
I
result?
love
It's
it.
like recent
That
video we
video,
made.
the video is amazing. And I had this one turn where I have a problem. I can bring my leg up. I can bring one, but not the other. And that day I said, all I want to be able to do that turn on my knee. It's all I need. If I can get that, I'll be so happy. And I got it.
Yes.
It
And it looked
wasn't
gorgeous.
exactly, but that
No, that was it.
variation,
That
that
was it.
was so with flexibility, and we discussed that several times. And you said consistency is the key. You have to keep working on it. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to work and work. So I started classes with you online for flexibility, and initially you feel like, oh, you can do, like, you do the class, you feel great after all your muscles. You feel like you can move
Not that great during the
anything.
class.
Not during the class. It feels
No
like
illusions. It's
yes,
never easy. It's
yes,
never easy. Working on your flexibility
yes.
and strength, never
It's
easy,
never easy.
but it's not supposed to be easy. If it would be too easy, everyone will get it. So, like, remember
So
that.
true.
It's not supposed to be easy, but it's supposed to be fun.
After it
Fun
feels
after.
so you can move anything, any muscle in your body that you don't even know that you have, it moves. But I wasn't being able to start doing all the things after one class. You had to take, so the consistency is the key. And now looking back from doing choreography a year ago and now, and putting them side by side, the difference is absolutely amazing.
So, when we're talking about gracefulness and fluidity of your movements in general, it's my strong opinion that flexibility is literally not the most important thing. The most important thing on me is muscle control. So, I don't know if you can or can't agree to this, but like in general, once you really know what muscles to engage, how to flow the energy and tension through your muscles, it helps you to control the flow better, and then you don't even need that much flexibility once you're using the range of motion that you have fully. It's not that bad if you even don't have the splits and those crazy arches. It's like totally fine. How do you feel about that,
That's actually an interesting question because I actually do have a question for you. Um, we all scroll through Instagram watching the videos, and I come across a lot of girls that have been doing pole dancing, exotic dancing for years, a very long time, who can do crazy tricks and pirouettes and do long choreographies for like 3 minutes. And they still don't have that flow. They still don't have that soft movements. And in a way, it's my fear that even down the road, say in 5 years from now, like I want to improve. Every time I learn a new choreography, I go to the class, I want to improve. I want to learn something new, and have the flowness and beautiful and very graceful dancing.
So basically, your fear is that even after years of practice, you might still look kind of a little bit
Yes.
robotic, stiff,
Yes.
not that
How to avoid
fluid.
that?
Okay, so it's not like you can avoid that, but
great.
you can. I meant like you can just practice to get this skill because it's a little bit different. Like you said, like those strong pole dancers on Instagram that can do crazy tricks, but still their movements does not look flowy. This is exactly for what you have to train for. It's just another skill. So strengths and tricks is one skill, graceful movement is other. Fluidity of the movement, it's another skill that your brain and muscles has to get. Otherwise, it will be impossible. So once you start in consciously focus on your movements, on making them more
And
fluid.
controlling the muscles, as you were saying.
Exactly, controlling the muscles, then checking your videos like after you recorded your practice and seeing, okay, here I can improve a little bit more like arch, a little bit more shoulder, a little bit more tension in my arms. That helps you to become more fluid. So there is some other tips for that. We will
Mm-hmm.
talk about that a little later, maybe in the next video. But for this one exactly, once you start and consciously focus on improving the fluidity of your movements, you will get it. Doesn't
Practice
matter.
makes it perfect.
Exactly. It might take time. I'm never telling that it can be easy. No, it will not be. But it will take months. It can take even a year, but you will get there once consciously you starting to work on it. Even with you, let's look at you like 1 year ago and now,
Huge difference.
right?
Huge difference. Everyone, my friends, family noticed that. Looking back on my videos, I even made this long video. Do you remember? Starting like first month, second month,
Yes.
third month, and then a year later I was performing, which was a huge learning experience, which I love. You made it so much fun and very different experience. Highly recommend it. It was fun. It's stressful and
It's
fun.
stressful. I would recommend it.
But it's a new skill, as you said. Try a new skill, and it pushes you. It challenges you. It pushes you to another, and it's fear. You're facing your fear in a way too.
Yes.
So it has
Stepping out of your
emotions.
comfort zone.
That's the main one. Yes, that was a big one.
And this is what pushes you to improve and to become even better. So never be afraid to do something that scares you. Once it's safe. Once it's like something crazy, think about that twice. But once it's something that you're just scared of, but it's not going to hurt you, why not? Like you should probably try.
And another thing, don't just go for one class and say, oh, I didn't like it, or it's not for me. You really have to try from 2 to 4 classes, because first,
I'm telling 2 months. 2 months of classes.
I highly agree. Highly agree. But it's really going back to my first class. Your body so confused, not sure what just happened. You have so many emotions and it's so new. So it's really hard to grasp and have a full picture how you felt about it. When you go for second class and you see the structure and some moves at this point more familiar, it's a totally different experience. So I always
and then third class and more, and it's becoming better and better.
Yes.
But like what you have to know, it's anyway your progress isn't like linear, so it's not like you just go straight up all the time. It can like face a plateau, it can stay on the same point for a few months. It's totally also normal. You just have to overcome it and keep practicing. My biggest sin, what I can advise you when you're coming to your first classes, first months of classes, 2 months, do not feel guilty, do not blame yourself, and do not be sad if for a first months something isn't going according to your plan or like not meeting your expectations. Because basically you have to build a completely new neural connections in your body between your brain and muscles that will help you to perform the dance. You have just to a little bit adjust what is happening to the class, so it's almost impossible to show those amazing results from very first months. This is why when Polina said that you have to wait at least 3-4 classes, I'm telling you have to wait at least 1 or 2 months of classes before you will be able to understand if you like it or if you can see the progress or not. Because first months can be like completely terrifying and confusing. I remember my first months of classes, half of the year, when I was like, I love it, but I don't know what is happening. I can do that, I
Yes,
can
yes,
do that, and I
that's the
love it.
feeling. That's exactly the feeling.
And I feel like this is a feeling that makes you keep practicing, right?
Yes.
It pushes
Yeah,
you
you
to
love it, but
practice.
what is happening? And sometimes even now, after a year and a half, I can have 5 classes, I'm nailing it, and it's great and practice it, and then you come to the class, you can't get anything, and it happens. And you know how they say when life gives you lemon, you make a lemonade. I put it together in the funny videos, and we all laugh about it, and you still feel great about it.
Yes, that's actually true. Like, still, even I'm using this technique, once I'm coming to self practice, I have usually two plans. One plan is if everything will go perfectly, my body will dance, the music is amazing, everything is amazing, weather outside is perfect, and like
The
my
outfit is
mindset, yes,
perfect.
is there. And like everything works. This is one plan of the moves and transitions that I'm going to do. But
But
if there is one of the days when you're like, you came to the class with high expectations,
Mhm.
and then
Nothing's working.
it's not working. You're trying to dance, and your body just isn't there. Your
Yeah.
brain isn't there, and you're just trying to you know.
And that's okay.
And it happens to all, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. It happens to all of us.
Yes, I'm practicing for 9 years, and still I'm experiencing that. So for those moments, I have like second plan. It's like bare
Oh,
minimum of
another secret she's sharing. I can't
it's
wait.
like a bare minimum of the moves that I can do. And the most important, if I'm doing that second plan, I'm just working on like figuring out the transition. Let's say where to step, how to arch, without the details, without even trying to make it look pretty. Just the construct like a frame of the movement without adding the details, without trying to make it look perfect, nothing like that. Just like, okay, what can I do at least just to start work on that move? Like step, head, arm, more than enough.
And
I know what
sometimes
I
it
did.
still looks fantastic in videos, even though.
No, I'm not posting that video. She doesn't know what she's
but
talking about. That
but
video
sometimes
never
it
will
does.
post
Sometimes
it.
it happened to me when you feel like, okay, I'm just gonna do basic, and those basic look fantastic. And sometimes you feel like, oh my god,
Okay,
I
yeah, I
danced
see, I
my
see, yeah.
heart out. It's so fantastic, and I look back, I'm like, oh my god, I definitely cannot post that. So it's all.
Yeah, so like girls, once you're practicing and you feel like something isn't working, just stop trying to make it look perfect, stop trying harder. Instead of that, just make a step back, make some easy movements, or try to work on new transitions just to figure out how the transition works without actually dancing it.
Mhm.
That will help you and you will not feel guilty.
Yeah.
I really feel like the biggest thing that stops you at any moment of your pole dancing journey, and not only pole dancing, is our guilt. That we are feeling
Yes,
guilty that something wasn't perfect.
we do, and I don't know why we do it to
Like
ourselves.
we didn't do the moves that instructor did perfectly, and
Mhm.
we were not able to catch it from the first class.
Yes.
Like, are you experiencing that
Yeah,
sometimes?
absolutely. I'm like, why am I not getting? She explained. She broke it down. She showed it a million times. I even looked at it in a slow motion, and it's. I had a video and it's like my brain gets it, but my body is like no, and you're like, but I understand this, but my body just saying no, and you have to. Sometimes you have to come back to that move.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need to take a break from it, and a few weeks after you try it. Sometimes a few months after,
This is how it
and it
works.
just gets.
Sometimes your brain just needs time to settle and kind of in incept, I don't know if that word exists, but built in that move into your body. Like, I can definitely say that Polina, she's one of the students who's very positive about everything about practice, but
I enjoy it. I
also,
love it.
yeah, she's like, okay, when something isn't working
Mhm.
perfectly, she just keep practicing. I have students who sometimes like stop to practice or just feeling too sad or devastated if they didn't get the move from the very first attempt or from the first class. And to all of them, I really like, I'm always telling that, and I was to tell it one more time. It's totally fine to not do something from the first class, after first
Mhm.
try, after even once 1 month of trying, it's fine. All
It is
our
absolutely
bodies
fine.
are different, and it's never supposed to push you into that guilt or sadness or feeling of you're like not good enough. This is what I'm always telling you, you're already
Mhm.
amazing. If you can do that
She
more,
does. She believes it's my line sometimes when you reinforce this positive and tell us how great we are. I'm like, she believes in us. You believe in us more than we do sometimes.
yes, because really, like you're already beautiful. That split will not make you more or less beautiful. That
Oh,
transition
that's beautiful.
will not make you better or worse. It's just a skill that you can get right now, and it's wow, it's cool. But even coming to the class, it's already wow, it's cool.
Hmm.
Everything is cool about you. You're like you're good
I agree.
anyway. So like
Yes.
you can be a little bit easier about it. Like if you get the transition, amazing. If not, keep working on it. While you will working on it, you will gain new muscles, you will gain
Hmm.
more strengths, you will become like much more confident, and that will lead you to even more transitions and moves in future. So definitely it's worth it without feeling sad or especially
Hmm.
guilty, because you're living here in your head, in your body, and like no one knows you better than yourself, and no one can push you more into that sadness and depression than you can. So just stop doing that. Enjoy the practice without feeling guilty.
And you're also the one who can pull yourself out of it. No one else can do it for you unless
Because
you want
really,
it.
imagine if like literally every time once you practice it, if something didn't go according to the plan, and instead of keep practicing, you will just stop
Hmm.
doing that, and that's all, and you will feel guilty or
Well,
sad
that's a
about it.
very good point because think about it. The time's gonna pass regardless. So even if you're gonna make yourself feel bad and saying, "I'm not getting it. I'm going not going to the class," and it's been few weeks. So the few weeks gonna pass regardless. You're not doing anything, or you'll be trying few weeks, maybe not getting every move every time, but you're learning in those. You're still investing your time in your flexibility in the
Actually,
dancing,
yes.
instead of just sitting and saying, "Oh, I can't do it. I better not."
It's interesting point because time is a resource that not limitless. You have just a certain amount of time that you can use, and or you can do nothing and you will definitely not improve then, or you can do a small improvement that will lead you to the amazing results. So it's totally up to you. It's your choice, and you know what is the best part? Even if you're doing nothing, do not blame yourself for that. Then maybe you need at this point to stop
Well,
a little bit, but never let your guilt to stop you if you really want to practice and if you really want to work on a certain movement. So what I understood from our conversation, anyway, flexibility is important at any stage,
very,
at
very
any
important.
point, but still you can get a lot of options, a lot of different transitions and moves that you can get to still look graceful. Do you have your splits now or not?
My thick split is great.
Real
Not the split.
splits?
No, I
Not
still have to
yet, yeah.
work. I think it will take me a few years
I
to
just
actually get
want
a
you to
real one.
see how it still looks, even if you don't have the splits. It still look gorgeous, and exactly how she said, you look like a swan, beautiful and graceful. So splits, it's something that you can get in future, but it's not necessarily needed at this exact point to start pole dancing.
Hmm.
Like you definitely can say that start pole dancing anyway,
Yes. Oh my God, you have to try it. As I said, the time will pass
even if you
anyway.
don't have flexibility, right?
Absolutely. Well, when I started, I had no flexibility, really. No
This is the
flexibility.
entire point
And I
why,
still don't have the split, but I'm dancing. And you're
and you
going to
look
enjoy.
graceful.
I do.
And this is exactly why I wanted to make this conversation to let you know that even if you don't have crazy flexibility, you already can look absolutely gorgeous, fluid in your movements. It's not necessary. You just need to know some tricks and, of course, practice. So just start from coming to the class.
Yeah.
And in future, we are planning to make more videos. I want to talk with Paulina as a student, as my friend. So maybe if there is some topics that you're interested in, let me know in the comments.
Ask us questions.
Exactly. So we will discuss it in a further videos because as you can see, we have different experience in pole dancing, and I feel like it's interesting to see the situation from both
Instructor
sides.
versus student.
Versus
Maybe some controversial questions that we can
exactly,
discuss.
because we started from like flexibility and gracefulness, but I feel like it's so many different topics that can be very interesting. Maybe we will even have on what to argue
A
about.
battle. We need a battle.
That
With
will
a
be
good-
interesting. So if you have any ideas that you want to hear about any topics, please mention in comments, and we would love to
Yes.
make a next video about it.
It would be so much fun.
So, Polina, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching us. And again, any comments you can leave in the comment section, and I will be happy to read and maybe make some adjustments for our next videos. Thank you, Polina. Bye.
Bye, girls.